Hi, Sophie. It's always so nice to see you. So I wanted to follow up a little bit on all the conversations that we've had in the past through this great mentorship relationship that we've established. I'm very happy that our career paths crossed and we got a chance to get to know each other. I mean, we talked a lot about the differences we see as women in the field of engineering within the technology industry. And I wanted to kind of build on that a little bit and continue our conversation. So I was wondering if you could just kind of sum up, your path up until today. What brings you to Celonis?
I started in September as a junior software engineer, and before that I studied computer science and business at the Technical University of Munich. What about you?
I also studied computer science and management. I started out my career in automotive industry, primarily with working with project management in different forms. And I did this for a couple of years. I worked out of China for a couple of years, got to travel a little bit, got to learn a bit about myself early on. And when it became time to kind of move back to Europe, I relocated to Munich, where I've been now for 8 years. And I sought my way back into the technology industry. I started out also as a project manager, working with development teams on plugins, web applications, and I tried out a couple of different roles. Been a product manager, product owner, also worked as an engineering manager for several years, and kind of figured trying all these roles, what I really enjoy is working directly with the developers. I've had a lot of good experiences working also directly with customers, but what really makes me tick is those engineering problems, like solving actual technical challenges in a team setting and figuring out how to move around obstacles and manage tight deadlines as a team. So I've now joined Celonis in last year and took on a role as an engineering manager here, which I'm very happy with. It also got me to meet nice people like yourself, and it got me opportunity to share a little bit of my experiences. What does your typical day look like at Celonis?
I work in a small team of 4 people, and our day usually starts with a daily stand-up. So we all meet, chat a little bit, and talk about what we've done yesterday, what were challenges or blockers, and then also what's on the agenda for that day. We start working on new features, we're fixing bugs, having like regular workshops, sprint planning, sprint retros, which I also always really enjoy. And it's just like fun working with a team. I really enjoy that, and I really enjoy solving problems, having these technical challenges. It's just really fun for me. What does a typical day for you look like?
I think the content is quite similar, but my focus is a little bit different since I'm not a developer myself, but I work with a team. So I take a lot of the organizational aspects of what we do. So setting up those daily meetings and the retrospectives and sprint plannings, sprint reviews and everything. The most important part of my job is kind of to keep the team running and make sure that they have as few disruptions as possible. It's kind of part of daily business also. So there's always something we have to adjust to and make fit into internal processes. Have you seen any particular aspects of being a woman in our field? Like, is there anything that you've kind of encountered or that you might want to share?
I think in general, for me, it's a really good place right now to be a woman in engineering. I think engineering has been the best ever for women. I get a lot of support from my colleagues. For example, you really always lift me up. So it's been a great experience so far. But despite all like disadvantages, there are also a lot of disadvantages. For example, we are not that many women in the engineering department, and it is still a male-dominated industry. But I do hope that one day we can all truly be equal. I'm really happy to be in engineering and like kind of be a part of that change. What it has been for you as a woman in engineering?
It's still noticeable that we are far less women in this industry. I think it's moving in the right direction. And I also think that the organization that we are in right now is really investing into enabling moving in this direction. And like you say, make sure to prioritize equality across the board. I haven't experienced many situations where it's been, let's say, a disadvantage to be a woman in the field. The continuous support that we have from all of our colleagues for me, it makes it a very fun place to be. And again, I think it's a blooming field, never-ending challenges. It's really, really fun, a very fun place to work. And the women that are here, there's a strong network between us, and there's a lot of support to find for whatever issues you might face through the different phases of your life. And that's something that I really enjoy, and which also can be quite an advantage for women in the field of engineering to have that additional network and additional support wherever we go.
We have a really strong network where everyone supports each other. So yeah, I think that's really nice.
I really hope that young women and young girls will realize the advantages of this field and just how far you can go and with information that's readily available to you. So if you just have the drive and the passion, you can go miles in engineering. What I do notice a little bit is, of course, there are still tendencies for what I believe to be more like unconscious bias. Certain types of tasks gravitating towards women, more of the type of keeping a good mood within the team, organizing team events, organization in general. These type of tasks tend to gravitate towards women.
I wanted to ask you, what did you wish you knew sooner?
I really wish that I would have built up my confidence, kind of understood my own strengths. I had a tendency to always look for where I fell short when starting out my career. And I think this is something that I wish I would have embraced sooner. Do you have any advice that you would give to young professionals or also young women that are interested in moving into computer science?
For me, engineering was always this mystery, really complex and complicated field. I think it actually isn't. So I encourage everyone to dare to try it out and just do it, set this application, do an internship or become a software engineer, and you learn as you go. So no one knows everything. Everything is on the internet. Yeah, just jump in and just do it. You will learn so many new things, and I think the work is so rewarding. So I would recommend it to everyone. Do you have any advice for working parents?
I mean, that was one of the biggest challenges I've met in my career, actually. Moving from being a professional, very much focused on my career and putting that ahead of a lot, to having large obligations outside of the office. What I would like to maybe recommend and advise people that are finding themselves in that big life shift is to take a step back and really re-examine priorities, because this is something that I didn't do. I just threw myself into my old mentality, very ambitious, very driven in the office. And I found myself, low on energy. It's at the end of the day. And it took me quite a while to really take that step back and really re-examine my priorities. Like, maybe I didn't have to advance today. Maybe I could wait till next year or maybe the year after. And that was a very, very healthy internal conversation for me to have with myself, to really reevaluate that I don't have to have everything today. It can also wait till tomorrow. But I also want to say that I'm a strong supporter of people being able to have it all if they want. But you always just have to be aware that it comes at a cost, and you just have to decide for yourself a little bit what are the priorities and what do you want to invest into right now, just to always take care of yourself along the way. Is there anything that you particularly looking forward to, or do you have any plans for what's next in your career?
I still have a lot to learn. So in the next few months or years even, I want to focus on improving my technical skills, and also I want to take on more responsibilities and projects. And I think Celonis is the right place for me to do that. I feel like that here I have a lot of opportunities to go after my goals, and I have the support to achieve them. I'm really excited what the future holds for me here.
There's a world of information out there when it comes to computer science, and for self-starters like yourself, I think it's a very, very exciting place to be for a young professional. I just want to thank you again for your time, Sophie. It's been really nice to chat, and I look forward to our next conversation.